name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for your star sign, for Sun, Moon or Rising. As it's detailed in the title, it's a bulk introduction for all 12. So as ever, there will be a time signature down below, so you can skip ahead to the reading because you really want to watch 3 of them if you can. Sun sign, obviously. And moon sign is highly relevant, especially with this being a lunar eclipse. And your rising sign was the most important sign in ancient astrology, so that's one to go for as well. If you're not familiar with what your moon and rising sign is, there is a link in the chart below. I'm not going to spend too much on the astrology of this lunar eclipse, apart from it's 2020. It's big, because of course it is. It's 2020. And I've also done a video with astrologer David Fisher, which you should find a link to that down below as well. As for other housekeeping about links down below, there's also a link to the Facebook page for this channel where you can contact me directly if you're wanting me for a personal reading. Plus I post all of these videos and I post all the astrology videos that I'm watching, the weather report style readings. So general reading rules apply. You know, this time is hardly absolute. With a lunar eclipse, they say it can last up to 3 months, sometimes a month before and 2 months afterwards. With a solar eclipse, which of course we're having in 2 weeks, then that can be more of a 6-month cycle. So, you know, take that under advisement as you're listening to the reading. It's a full moon gods at play reading, obviously, because that's what I do for the full moon. So by their very nature, they are dramatic. That's the whole design of the reading. I'll discuss that more when I bring the cards up. But first, I just want to spend a moment looking at the symbols of the degrees where this full moon is taking place. So it's occurring at 9:29 a.m. GMT. So amend that time for your time difference from GMT, for your time zone, sorry, I should say. At 8 degrees 37 minutes of Gemini. So in terms of the symbol, that is the 9th degree of Gemini. So if we look at the inside degrees, for the actual moon itself, we have wildflowers growing around the ruins of a temple. Now the interpretation of this is really nice. Catching a second wind, taking a booster rocket from one cycle to another, one lifetime to another, or one whole stage in evolution to another. Now that sounds great, phenomenal. And we could certainly use that with everything that's been going on. So, shot out of a cannon to discover the next great thing. You are wildly attentive to signs and portents, looking for a way to the future. Well, you're watching this, aren't you? So, coming out of immense soul experience with flying colours leaping forth into the new. Enthusiastic, naive and impressionable, eager for 1,000 universes to come true. Now, there's a really interesting point. We have Neptune stationing during this full moon. So at the same time, it is squaring the nodes. So the power of the future is causing a tension with your dreams. So you may be forced closer towards the truth, you know, an objective truth, whatever that is, or even further into your dreams, where really you want to try to balance reality in your dreams. The whole idea of a square is that you find a creative solution using both aspects of that, both ends, like using Neptune and the North Node, using how you're setting your future with your dreams. Anyway, to continue the symbol, enthusiastic, naive and impressionable. I already said that, didn't I? You feel the ultimate springtime quality of fresh immediacy and wind-blown alacrity, just sensing all through body and soul, the possibilities, the openings, what wants to happen next. A destiny bearer, universal in spirit and in the right place at the right time for the remarkable synchronicities and huge turnarounds. That offers a lot of hope. But then again, it could, with it being the eclipse, this is the That's the image of the degree that is being obscured, where the moon is going into this degree and then all light from the moon disappears. So that's the ideal use of this degree. But there's a double edge to that, that unless you're really making the effort, you won't get to use the power of that degree, because the moon obviously is eclipsed. But the good news is it's only a partial eclipse, so you do still get some light from the moon, so you do still get some of the energy from this degree. But what was interesting is the opposing degree, 8 degrees Sagittarius. I'll come back when I can learn to speak. Where the sun is shining and is casting its light, the light that is partially obscured by the shadow of the earth when it hits the moon. So we have, for inside degrees, a man with green skin. He is dressed with leaves. Playful, exuberant, spontaneous and elusive, you are restless under constraint, with all of civilization representing constraint. You're desperate to be free. When not held down, you have spectacular abilities and affinities, but when bound by time, you become abrasive and provoking. Temperamental in extreme ways, aching for free movement in a vast territory, drawn to every extreme that exists. Here we see again that power of Neptune being stationary. It actually turns stationary on the, well, becomes stationary, I should say, on the day of the full moon. The body and soul of one who can never be identified, tamed or narrowed. You are the one who knows how deep the earth is, surging with volatile currents, and these bear all hope and promise if they are followed with open arms. The one who shows everybody what life is like when it lets itself go and contagiously ripples, with permission and encouragement for each and all to come out and play and explore the far edges, and even perhaps over those edges into the greater wilderness, claiming the allegiance of those whose wildness is no passing whim, but the only viable way. So again, we've got that double edge. We've got that power of Neptune going on. Are you going to dive deeper into your echo chamber? Are you going to dream a better future? Are you going to be able to look at reality and make those dreams into reality and not just think that you're in those dreams? You know, there's all sorts of different levels here. This is very much a decision time. It's a preparatory time. We are coming up to the Great Conjunction, which, as I saw in one video going, well, it's only every 20 years, but it's part of a far larger cycle. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is the first time it's occurring in an air sign, and now for the next 200 years or so, it will be occurring in air signs. So we've got what's called a mutation, a great shift into air, a great shift into being more intellectual, more informed, and possibly a little less emotional, for good or for ill. You know, there's no one's going to say that there is anything wrong with emotions. They have their place. They are vital to how we function. But in the meantime, this is a house clearing time to sort out, hang on a minute, what am I wanting to achieve here, and what do I no longer need to achieve it? And that's definitely an empowered negative statement. What do I need to dispose of in order to achieve what I'm wanting to achieve? Now, this degree is ruled by, if I remember correctly, it's ruled by Rochelle, who is an angel all about restitution and finding lost objects. So again, there's the lost objects, not as the things that you're getting rid of, but the things that you are making space for. Now, opposing this, Yehuya, who I did not actually just draw the meaning up for. Let's see, Yehuya, where we got? So, Yehuya, now here's a good one. Revealing the dark side or subordination to higher order. Now, again, there's two ways. Considering we had that image all about rebellion and trying to find freedom, there's two ways you can see that higher order. Are we talking about a mundane higher order, a higher order that is existing here on the planet, or are we talking more to a more esoteric, spiritual submission to the higher order of the divine? And again, that choice is slowly being presented to us by each individual piece being brought up to our attention, each individual piece of our dreams, piece of our belief systems, piece of our day-to-day life, day-to-day practice being brought up to go, you know, do I really need this? And either answer is okay, but you have to ask the question. So either answer is like, no, I don't need this anymore. Its time has passed. That's fine. Or yes, this is essential for what I want to accomplish. This is essential for me being whom I want to be. And it will enable us to love our own process more, if that makes sense. And the reason I say that is ruling the decan that this eclipse is occurring in on the moon side is the goetic spirit Ammon. Certainly in the day it is Ammon, and at night it is Sabnok. So here for the northern hemisphere, well, if it's daytime and Ammon is ruling it wherever it is, and if it's nighttime it's Sabnok. So looking at Ammon is a goetic spirit who can be very much about love. Can be used or can be appealed to in love magic that gives aid in divination. So Ammon's energies can certainly help us try and see the future with a little bit more clarity. And this is interesting. Ammon gives aid in divination and helps the sorcerer get in touch with her true will. So it's not just my vision for the future, my dream for the future under all that Neptunian influence. It's going, hang on a minute, this dream I've got of the future, is this what I really want? Is it one of these, I think someone called them on a video I was watching recently, false beliefs? You know, because you get brought up to be told that you need to be a doctor or a lawyer, and if you're not those, then you're not good enough. Or that everybody needs the house and 2.5 kids and the car. Or, you know, all of these beliefs that are what society or family or whoever or the TV tells you that you want, when actually is, no, I want to ride on horseback on a ranch in the middle of nowhere. I want to spend my life hosting a YouTube channel. I want to spend my life living in the forest and caring for the forest. Or I really want to get involved in social work, tapestry, you know, knitting, you know, whatever it is that really floats your boat. You have to be able to say, yeah, hang on a minute, that floats your boat. I've been fighting for the past 10 years to save enough money to put a mortgage down on this house, and I don't even want to be a homeowner. I want to be free. I want to do what free people do. You know, there's really diving down to go, okay, I want the house and the car, or I don't want the house and the car. I want happiness. I want success in business. I want success in love. I want to make my friends' lives better, my clients' lives better. I want to paint things. You know, whatever it is that you want, just learning to be honest about what it is that you want and then going for it. Now, Sabnok, what have I got on Sabnok? Not a lot of information. Now, he builds high towers and castles and cities on the astral plane. So he's all about constructing. If you know anything about creative visualization, which is often covered under nowadays under like law of attraction. You visualize a situation, a condition, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into being, and you visualize it so hard, is that the way to say it, that you are believing yourself in it and you are knowing that it is already real. That is building a castle on the astral plane, which is exactly what Sabnok is doing. So Amon is helping you identify what you want to build, or if the eclipse is happening during nighttime for you, Sabnok is helping you build the vision of it and therefore be calling that into your future. Assuming, of course, you're taking the advantage to, well, to clear out the stuff that you do not need. Now, there was another thing that I wanted to go back to, the 8 degrees Gemini symbols. Yes, the 8 degrees Gemini symbol for the the Omega symbol, a ruby growing in a laboratory, however you say it. So even though fake, but not fake, it's still a ruby. It's beautiful, it's crystalline, and I personally love red. I mean, I wear a lot of garnet. Ruby is actually, I prefer garnet to ruby, but ruby has such a depth and motion to it with that red color, with that red vibration of moving forward with things. But this is not so much about moving forward, this lunar eclipse. This is about preparing to move forward and knowing which way forward is. There's not much more that I want to say. Obviously, if this has been useful for you, like, share and subscribe. I'm sure I'll say that at the end of the reading as well. But also, now you can breathe a sigh of relief and press the timestamp thing, get to the readings. I'll bring the cards up for you. Okay, Gemini, as you may be aware, this top row represents the masks of the gods that the archons wear as they try to keep you separated from your divine purpose. And this bottom row shows the gods which are trying to lift you up and reconnect you with your purpose. So we have Poseidon with flow, Artemis with purity, Boudica with unity, the Morrigan with sovereignty, and Aries as with warmongering, all as the masks the archons are wearing to try and bring you down, keep you down, whatever way you want to look at it. And this is really interesting because we've got 3 gods of war, 2 gods of war, a hunter, and a warrior. Poseidon, that's another matter entirely, but 2 gods of war, a hunter and a warrior. There's a feeling that you may be swept up in some form of cause, some form of passion, some form of us and them, and that's what I'm getting from the unity with Boudica here, being something that's being used against you. It's like it's not so much that you are seeing an us and them, but you are having a very limited us being foisted onto your identity. But with Inara here as one of the gods trying to lift you up, Inara is a trickster. And her energy is pointing out, don't be tricked. Don't be fooled by what you are being pulled into. We've got Dionysus twice. Here with merrymaking, here with freedom. And the unified us that is being pushed towards you is not healthy, I think is the best way to put it. It's not a good idea. It's not where your prosperity lies. To a great extent, walking away from whatever this fight is, and working more on your own prosperity, your own day-to-day life, will be what will benefit you. Spending the times with friends, recognizing your blessings. Kahathel here with, or Kahatel, however you pronounce it, with divine blessings, and Hahasia with universal medicine. Now, the overarching angel energy, we've got the angel of being. My soul rests in the truth that my being is eternal. So, being swept up in some form of drive for purity, you know, even though it may be the way the flow of events is going, there may be this massive emotional surge. But I believe that underneath that, there may be almost a form of, I don't want to say lecherous, because it's not, I don't think lecherous is the right way, a gluttonous urge to bring this unity together, and that there's that sense of they've got what we don't have, and we should have it and they shouldn't. You know, there's that, I mean, are you not going to be loyal to your tribe? But that's not your tribe. It's a myth. And this is something that is going to come to the light of day. Helios here with cycles. You've seen this happen before. Hemera, the goddess of the day, here representing rebirth. But I really, with these two, with Helios and Hemera, I really do get that sense of bring it to the light of day, whatever the it is. But whereas Taurus was standing up and shouting about it, I think all you are doing is maybe seeing this being brought up to the right light of day and saying, yeah, no, I've got better things to do. Way better things to do. I need to look after me and mine, and as many other people as I can look after. But that's not the us that's going to war. That's the us that is going through day to day. I think there's more that Poseidon's got to say yet, but I haven't quite heard it. So let's see what the tarot is adding. So we've got 9 of Pentacles, Four of Swords. So that this drive for purity, I mean, there's 2 very lonely cards there with Artemis and Poseidon. It's a singular cause. It's a lonely cause, even though there's this unity thing going on. So it's almost like isolated within a crowd. But it's also that sense of singularness. What have we got here? 8 of Cups. Yeah, that unity dream doesn't. 7 of Swords. The unity dream doesn't seem to hold water. The call to war is seen as lies, deceit, and 6 of Cups. There's a familiarity with this fight. As I said, with Helios Recycles, you've seen it before, and that's all that 6 of Cups is saying there. So we have the Priestess, we have the 9 of Swords, interestingly. So bringing it to the light of day is a painful experience, but it is one that appears to be well worth it here, because it gives you the freedom to work on something that's far more closer to your heart. With Inara here, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and with Dionysus here, we have the Magician. There is, I know this sounds weird, but there's more profit to be had in work and in fun than there is in getting carried away on some form of war, some form of drumbeat, some form of incredibly singular and, to be honest, at the end result, lonely cause. That's a really, really interesting. But that's it with... okay, I've just thrown cards everywhere. Let's see what these have got to say. But I've just noticed Poseidon, that, like I say, there's that flow of events. But he links here with the Hasia, with the universal medicine. These are events that do have to occur, that in order to occur, 2 6s here, so angel number 66, whatever that is. But 6 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, finding the value in moving, in getting yourself to a better place. The better place being whatever that means, whether that's a physical location, a philosophical location, where you are spending your attention. There is an urge for you to be able to see this fight, this campaign, whatever it is, and go, no, I've got more important things to do. That's a really nice message, actually, especially with it being capped off by this angel message of the angel of being. My soul rests in the truth that my being is eternal. So whatever this pain is that is revealed by you pointing out, hang on a minute, this is a load of nonsense, this is trickery, this is we are all, or you are all, because hopefully you haven't been taken up with it, you are all being deceived, this is trickery. That, revealing that's a chance you take. Wheel of Fortune here. But I do feel that revealing it rather indicates that you will benefit from it. I don't want to say profit, I want to say benefit from the revelation of, hang on a minute, that's a load of nonsense. But you're going to get pushback, and that's what this 9 of Swords is pretty much obviously telling you. But it frees you up so much to be able to concentrate on projects that you want to do and not constantly be dancing to the beat of somebody else's war drum. Boudica, the Morrigan, Aries here. This is... I'm hoping that since we've got the Nostalgia 6 of Cups card here with Aries, that you are heading towards something new. But you're definitely heading towards something that's not that war. If you listen to the guidance, or even, you don't even need the guidance. That sounds so woo-woo, doesn't it? It's your own urges, where you know that there's something else you'd rather be doing. So the idea is, get on and do it then. All right, Gemini, best of luck with this. This looks good. Cheers.